Well, hello folks, welcome along to a special video on the channel. I am the Custard Prophet, and this is a video celebrating, I suppose, the 500th sub on my YouTube channel, which is bloody fantastic. If you think about 500 people, that's like one of those massive jumbo planes, isn't it? It's a lot of people, so to have 500 people subscribed to my channel is bloody brilliant. So as you'll probably see from the thumbnail, what we're going to do today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the channel, but we're also going to have a bit of a Q&A as well. I put some questions out on Twitter. I put something out on Twitter asking people to put some questions forward, and they duly did. So we're going to answer some of those questions, and hopefully you guys will find out a little bit more about me, although with the questions that have been asked, probably not an awful lot. Probably more about my eating habits than anything else. But anyway, we'll get to that in good time. So welcome to the Showcase Studios. If you've not been here before, I am the Custard Prophet, and I've been doing YouTube for just over 2 years. I have uploaded almost 950 videos. And finally, I have reached the hallowed ground of 500 subscribers. It has been a slog. It's been a battle. It's always been enjoyable. I've never had, and I've seen people say this, times where they've had, they've felt like it's been a job or something they're not really enjoying. For me, it has always felt fresh, enjoyable, and I've loved every minute of it. I've learned all sorts of things along the way: how to make thumbnails, how to edit videos, how to set myself up for recording, how to use a green screen. There's all sorts of things that I had no idea how to do before, and I have managed to do since I've started this channel. I've even been able to use some of the skills for this that I've developed for my day job as well, which is it's pretty cool. So it's kind of translationable skills, as they all talk about. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have reached 500 subs. For a little period earlier in the year, it was really hard to make any headway, but in recent times the subs have been ticking over. So let's have a little look at the analytics where we've only recently been here, but you can see we're now on 504 subs. Let's have a look over the lifetime of the channel. Where do we sit? So we have over 4,000 hours of watch time on the channel, 504 subs. As you can see, I've been picking them up and dropping them like mad today. It's weird, but we're on 504 at the minute, and we're just shy of the 50,000 views, which is utterly bonkers as well. You can see they've had some peaks over the course of the time. Some of those have been bizarre interactions with a reporter, for instance, with a reporter based in Örebro. Basically that's where this peak came from here, and this one here was my venture into shorts, YouTube shorts, which it was a short venture, and I had a couple of videos that did incredibly well in the shorts, but it sort of tailed off, so I've kind of left that alone for a little bit. So let's rewind back to when I started. So it was February in 2019, so it was FM19, and I'd been wanting to do YouTube for a little bit of time, but I didn't have a laptop that was able to deal with that. That changed in that February, and I had just a little play. I looked at Loki Doki's video that sort of detailed what you need to get started, and downloaded OBS, found myself a free bit of video editing software, and went from there. I used the same laptop I've got now, actually. I didn't use the laptop camera, so there was no camera on the first videos, but I was using the laptop mic, which I'm not doing now. So the sound quality was absolutely terrible. But what I did was started with a save with Burton Albion. That's the team that I support. It's always good to start with a team, I think. And yeah, I had about 3 or 4 months of this save with Burton, and then moved on to something different. But I think where the channel really started to grow, what was one where I joined Twitter and I found the Football Manager community, but around the same time as that, I also started the Football Manager Creator Showcase, which has been one of the most important things that has gone on the channel. I think what that has done for me has really allowed me to interact with a lot of different Football Manager creators from across the community, from the really big ones to the guys just starting out. And it's been a lot of fun seeing that and seeing some of the guys grow, because I've been doing the showcase now for 2 years, and seeing some of the guys that I had on the showcase grow to actually be quite, you know, big presences in the Football Manager community. The likes of Sweet Left Foot, who fairly soon after joining, starting up, came on the showcase, and you could tell he was going places. You could absolutely tell that. But it's been really fun to see some of that growth. The likes of FM Llama, the likes of FM Stinger, the Demand More FM. There's a whole bunch of really good content creators that appeared during lockdown and are really absolutely smashing it at the minute. It's fantastic to see, and they really know what they're doing. They really know how to work the YouTube algorithm, and yeah, it's a lot to learn from those guys. So if you are interested in content creation, those guys are the ones to look at, because they're the ones who are really making the big strides. People like me, not really doing that, but the way I set my channel up, it's not really set up like that. You need a lot of evergreen content. I don't have that. I like my Let's Play series, which isn't where the views are, but it's where my enjoyment is, so I stick with that. But here we are at 500 subs. However it's happened, we have achieved that. So yeah, FM20 came along, and I did a save with Everton, and suddenly I started getting views. And around the same time as that, around the time that FM20 came around, I joined with Passion for FM, and Espen and the guys of Passion for FM have been a big influence on me. So a massive thank you to those guys for putting up with me and my technical inabilities to do anything or use Discord or anything else, but you know, Espen's an incredibly supportive guy, and he has, you know, been a big influence on my channel and helping me reach this milestone. So yeah, huge thanks go out to Espen and the guys at Passion for FM for, you know, becoming the catalyst, or providing the catalyst to really push the channel forward. And that sort of first that start of FM20, my channel was really picking up views. It was really good. Slowed down a little bit, as it does as the year went on, but yeah, I think that's really where I had my biggest sort of growth. And you can probably sort of see that here in this area here, where there's a lot of subscribers appearing. In recent times, it's been fine, it's been good. No, sort of ticking along, and we'll be trying to push to something bigger. But yeah, now we've reached 500. There is new targets to be set. I mean, I've got to think about what can I achieve by the end of the FM21 cycle, and I don't know what that might be. Maybe 600 might be something to maybe focus for. I don't think I'll reach that, but that's a target anyway, isn't it? But it's not just been FM on the channel. I think that's important to realise. Games like particularly Tennis Elbow Manager 2 has been a massive part of the journey as well. And in recent times, a lot of my videos that are doing best are Tennis Elbow Manager videos, which is quite cool. And a lot of the evergreen content that's doing best is those videos as well. So I'm kind of taking my FM hat and kind of using it to make content for Tennis Elbow Manager 2, where there's not a lot of people viewing it, but there is the interest for those videos, which is kind of cool. I've done a training video, and that's sitting in the high hundreds at the moment, and also got another a real name fix video, which is sitting in the hundreds as well. And they're getting 20 views every couple of days, which is it's amazing considering they've been out quite a while. So yeah, it's not just Football Manager, Tennis Elbow Manager, and there's been other games that have come on the channel. The likes of RimWorld was probably my first non-FM content. We've had Buoyancy, we've had this War of Mine, which was a very popular save. Just done a series with Observation, and there will be more content on the way. More tennis management content. That's a promise. I'm going to be starting up Tennis Manager 2021 very shortly, a series with that. So look out for that if that interests you. Right then, before we get onto the Q&A, little experiment, just given what we've talked about. I want to ask you what was the first video, just as kind of like an idea of who has been watching this channel, where you've come from. So what is the first video or first series that you started watching on the channel, and currently what series are you watching on the channel? Be cool to get a few answers to that, if you please. So much appreciated. Right then, so let's head on back to the showcase studio. Here we are. I've gone a little bit bigger, and we'll do the Q&A, shall we? Let's do the Q&A. Right then, so I'm going to do them in order. So we have a first question from TaylorMade Gaming, aka Bad Jokes Gaming. He's been a FM content creator for some time, part of passion for FM. He asks, would you prefer to be a custard taster full-time or a full-time prophet? Now, I'll reveal something about myself and about where the channel name comes from. I'm actually somewhat lactose intolerant, so I can't really eat a lot of custard, and to be perfectly honest, I don't really like it, which is a weird thing considering this is the name. Custard Prophet is my online username, and it basically just came out of I was doing fantasy football using the UEFA in one of the UEFA leagues, which I don't think exists anymore. They were brilliant. And my name then was Devon Brewer because I was a Burton fan and live in Devon, but I wanted something more interesting. So I went onto a website and just spammed a load of random names as kind of random name generator, and those two words came together, custard and prophet. And I thought, yeah, I like the imagery that comes along with that. So I think, to answer your question there, probably not a full-time custard taster, because that might be unpleasant for many people. Probably more a full-time prophet, because you kind of like to know what's going on. I think that would be kind of good. New content creator, the FM Ducks. Go along to their channel, check them out. What is my earliest Football Manager memory, and what's your favourite custard-based dessert? Well, we'll take the second one first, because we've already said I don't really like custard and I can't eat a lot of it, but I do quite like a custard donut. That's, I will have that. I'll probably have one of those, and I might just be about safe. But yeah, these days I tend to stick to the jam donuts, but I do quite like a custard donut. My earliest Football Manager memory. Now, you might be able to tell from the white hair that I'm not all that young. I started out my content creation career as I was 37, and now I've gone 40, which is a scary thing. But I started out with, I think, the first version of Championship Manager, and I can still remember. I imagine we all can still remember. Who was your first team? Let me know in the comments below that you managed. But I can still remember the first team I managed, because there was only the English leagues. It was the four leagues. It didn't go down to the conference. It was 4 leagues, and I started off in the Championship, and it was probably called the First Division then, because this was back in the early 90s or mid 90s or somewhere in the 90s. And I managed Barnsley. Now, I'm not from Barnsley. I've got no affiliation with Barnsley, but for whatever reason I decided to manage Barnsley. And there was a bloke, I still remember, I can't remember his first name, but his second name was Bullock, someone Bullock, who played for Barnsley. and he was the first player I ever sold on the game for about £1 million, which in those days was quite a lot. I was quite chuffed with myself. I have no idea how I did that season, but obviously that was enough to get me hooked. And I very much remember soon after that the Italian kind of add-on game. I had a lot of fun with that, and in those days, if I'm remembering rightly, I'm pretty certain I did this. You didn't get a list of the statistics that you do now, so I had a whole book of kind of like who got the goals, so I could keep up with who the top scorers were and who was playing well, who was getting the assists, all these sort of things, so I could kind of plan my team a little bit better. Yeah, the sadness started there, but thankfully all this information is now in the game, and I probably use it a lot less than I did. So thank you, Up the FM Ducks, for that question. That's a nice one. What was it that first got me? So this is from Sean, True Magoo FM, and this is what first got me hooked on Football Manager and Custard. Well, we've dealt with Custard. Definitely not hooked on Custard. It would be unpleasant for everyone involved if I went heavily into Custard. But what got me first hooked on Football Manager, I think some of those first few saves must have done, but I've got a particular memory for a save very early on again when the Scottish leagues got introduced into the game, and I managed Stenhousemuir. They were in the bottom league at that point, and I got them after, I think I signed Andy Hessenhalter. Now this is going back a bit. I think he used to be Gillingham manager, looks incredibly old is what I remember about him. He was a striker. I signed him at Stenhousemuir, and we just went up the leagues with him. Got all the way to the Scottish Premier League, and I thought, wow, that is bloody brilliant. Again, no idea how I did when I got there, but I just have this memory of the buzz of getting this club promoted one league after the other. It was just brilliant. And then since then, I've had a bunch of really fun saves. The saves that I sort of had where I end up in Barcelona and spent like 20 years just developing young players at Barcelona and just going through generations. And then the other thing that I used to like to do was have some of the players that I started out with come through and become the assistant manager, and you basically bring all the players through, and suddenly your staff is full of these players that you were once playing, and now they're staff players. It's kind of like they've done at Man United in some ways. A lot of the players kind of end up in the backroom staff. I don't know. I don't know why that is something I quite like in the game. Just having a player that you've loved so much and have them appear in the backroom staff. In FM 20, I had a save with Gotna IF. Maybe some of you might have watched that. A Swedish 4th division side got them all the way to the top division in Sweden. Came second, was the best finish we had, and we got to the final of the Euro Cup 2, or the whatever it's called, the third division of Europa League type things. God knows what it's called. I can't remember. The one that doesn't exist at the minute. And also won the Swedish Cup with Gotna. But we had a superstar right at the start called Hasan Begovic, Mirza Hasan Begovic. He left the club, and we brought him back in as a scout, and that just excited me so much. He was crap, but it was nice to have him there. Right, from a question from ABOM FM, another great content creator, and who was the first creator on the Football Manager Showcase. He was the guinea pig, and I really appreciate that he took his time to do that. So his question is, who's going to win the Euros, and why is the answer England? So I'm recording this on Thursday. No, it is Friday because it's midnight. So it is Friday, just very early on in Friday. So England have not played Ukraine yet, so I don't know what that result will be. I think on a previous video I said I think we had a favourable draw, and it gave us a good chance to get through to the final, and I'm going to stand by that. I think we will beat Ukraine. I think it'll be tough, and I think we'll probably come up against Denmark, who we've lost to fairly recently in the funny international friendly tournaments that no one really cares about. But we will be at Wembley, so feel we can. We've got enough to get through that as well. But then I think coming up against probably Italy, I think will be the team that meet us in the final. Unfortunately, Andy, I don't think England will win it, but I think we'll get to the final. I think it'll be Italy, England in the final, and Italy will just about outdo us. Hopefully not on penalties, but it probably won't be the most exciting game because none of them have been very exciting so far. But we've got the job done in each one. And this is what I can't quite get. That people are moaning about, England being boring and, it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think the Greece fans were bothered when they won the Euros and they were playing boring football, winning everything 1-0. If getting the job done is what's important. That's the key thing. So if England do get to the final, I think that would be awesome because I have not seen England in a final in my lifetime, and that would be nice. It's a shame that we've got, the way in which the celebrations have happened over Germany have been a little bit over the top, and some of the poorer sides of the English fan base have kind of come to the front, but they always do, don't they? I think for the vast majority of fans, I think we're just chuffed to finally get one over on Germany, and are hoping for the best. It's nice just to win a knockout game. It's not happened for a while. So, yeah, sorry, I reckon Italy are going to win it. Ooh, good question from FM Llama. All-time favourite brewer. We're not talking about beer here. I do like a Belgian beer, if you're interested, but my all-time favourite brewer, Burton Albion player. There's a lot to go at. I've been watching Burton since the mid-90s, early 90s. So back when we were in Beezer Homes Premier League, yeah, that league. Back when we were playing Hensford Town, and they were always a tough one. Big rivalries with Gresley Rovers, and were just from across the town, across the Trent. Many Micklova, not Micklova, they were never near us. Solihull, yeah, they're now Solihull Moors. What they used to be called? I can't remember what they used to be called. That's bad, but yeah. So a lot of memories there in those early days. But probably my favourite player of all time has to be Mr. Burton Albion, captain of Burton Albion for so long. Darren Stride, the guy is an absolute legend, leading appearance maker at the club. He's up there, I think, with the leading scorers as well at the club. He started out way up the pitch, and as he got his career progressed, he went further and further back. And in the end, he left the club and had, I think, one season elsewhere and then retired. But he was brilliant. He was an absolute trooper, and you just knew he was going to give everything for the cause. He was that sort of player. So Darren Stride, remember that name. He is a legend in Burton, an absolute legend. And final question, and probably the most important one, of course. Do I prefer Belgian chocolate or Swiss cheese? Now, we've already talked about lactose intolerance. Both of those are going to be probably full of dairy, so that's not great. I used to love cheese, random cheeses. Every Christmas, my wife and I would buy a load of cheeses, and we'd just sit there eating cheese, and we'd buy a bottle of port and be just incredibly decadent just for one night. It was awesome. But unfortunately, I just get to watch her do that, and I drink the port. So it probably will be Swiss cheese, but Belgian chocolate is pretty superb, you have to say. Okay, well, that will be the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed finding out a little bit more about me. If you've got additional questions that you would like me to answer that you don't know about me, and you maybe didn't see the tweet first time around, well, drop them down below and I will try and answer them in the comments as well. I'm not entirely sure people are that interested in where I've come from and how I've got here, but if you are, and you are wanting to know something, then please drop the question down there. And I think the only thing I haven't done, which I should have done right at the start, is to say a massive thank you to everyone who has supported the channel to get to this massive milestone. It's over 500 people. I'm incredibly humbled that 500 people would want to click that button and be interested in anything I've got to say. I'm amazed that there are so many people who keep coming back for more. It's crazy, but thank you very much. I hugely appreciate your persistence with the channel. I know it's not always the best quality content. I'm trying to do something about the consistency these days. Hopefully, with a slightly reduced schedule, that will be easier for me to achieve. But yeah, massive thank you to everyone who, even if you're not subscribed, even if you've just kind of watched a few videos here and there, that's just brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, just a reminder, in the comments below, just put where you started, what series did you start on, and what series are you watching now. That would be really good, really cool to hear. Okay, I think that'll do. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. If you are new, it'd be a weird one to start with, but subscribe. There's a lot of nice content on the channel. I've got to say that, but hopefully other people will agree with that. If you've not got your notifications on, what are you doing? Hit the bell, get the bell on, and yeah, make sure you don't miss any of the content coming up. There's lots of fun stuff coming up. As I said, Tennis Manager 2021 new series going to be starting very, very soon. Not for everyone, I know, but I'm excited to give it a go. I think there might be a fair few people who might be interested in that. It seems to have captured the imagination of a few people, but this is the tennis management channel, so it doesn't matter if Dr. Benji's doing it. This is my turf he's on now, so yeah, watch out, Ben. Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.